What is up, YouTube? This is FabledGrimr0 coming to you live from the middle of nowhere. My butt right now is on a pier. Just finished some lunch, having myself a beer. Yeah, I'm 26 and I play children's card games. What of it? On vacation for the weekend. But I realized I haven't done a whole lot of videos lately. Been slacking on that a little bit. I apologize, guys. Been a little busy, but I want to do some videos while I'm down here. Recording my iPod for the first time, so I hope this video turns out well. But yeah, last night I was thinking of what video can I do for you guys. I've done a lot of deck profiles and some poll videos and stuff like that. And just want to do something, switch up a little bit, maybe a little discussion video. Try to get some of my subscribers and fans involved, because I really appreciate you guys commenting and stuff on my videos. It's really cool. But yeah, so last night I was talking with some of my online friends, and I was like, yeah, what video should I do? Like, what do you guys want to talk about? And for one thing, a lot of them are, just sort of done with Yu-Gi-Oh at this point. And for someone that's, I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh since, 2000, 2004, 2005, like almost since the game came out. It's kind of weird. So yeah, talking to some of my friends online, and they're like, oh, blah, 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 the format. So I got, my one friend who, completely, some of my friends completely quit Yu-Gi-Oh for Card Fight Vanguard, and you saw me, I've been trying to get into that a little bit myself actually, and I've been posting some videos for that, and might be some more along the way. But I guess the way that the format is with Dragons and Prophecies, a lot of people are kind of iffy on Yu-Gi-Oh right now, which sucks for another one of my friends who is actually a big Prophecy player, and he's a big Spellcaster fan, so he got all the Prophecy stuff when it first came out. So he's been having a tough time too, probably for the opposite reason, where he still enjoys Yu-Gi-Oh, but everyone complains about his deck pretty much, and a lot of his friends quit, so that stinks. So he's been iffy too. And I have my one friend who still plays, and he's the only one in my group that's super into Yu-Gi-Oh still besides me, and he's a derp. If you're watching this, you know exactly who you're talking about. So yeah, I was thinking of a video I wanted to do, and they're all like, yeah, why don't you do some ban list discussions or something like that, because this format's terrible, and this game's terrible right now because Dragon Rulers are insane. Which I do have to admit, I've been playing this game, ever since, as I said, 2004, 2005, so I went through Chaos Control format, I went through Scapegoat format, I went through, Pazu, I went through GBs, I went through Lightsworn, Dad Return, I went through the Synchro, everything the Synchros, the entire GX thing, and now Zexal with all that stuff. So I've seen a lot, and I have to admit that this is probably one of the worst formats that we've probably had in a little while, and that's because there's a lot of good decks right now, and a lot of them are just pushed to the side because there's that one deck that has that's just completely dominating the Dragon Rulers, and then there's Prophecies that are up there too. Evil Swarms are sort of the anti meta right now, and they're iffy because they shut down some decks, and then some decks they do nothing against, and they're still just not quite up there. And then you have a lot of the other good decks, Mermail's kind of been pushed to the side by now. Fire Fist people are iffy on. Constellars are a thing. Hunders, Insectors and Wind-Ups, I don't really miss those that much. I saw some of the Rabbit decks, a lot of stuff like that. That's, it's kind of eh. So, just wanted to share with you guys a few of my feelings on the format real quick. A lot of them would tell me a lot of my friends tell me to do, like, do a ban list discussion, and I'm like, no one knows, because pretty much, like, the way it is the way that this game has gone right now is cards that, traditionally have been, powerhouse cards, like, should have been banned, and they just brought them back for no reason. And now, just because of how crazy the format is they're just, bad cards right now, and that's like, your Heavy Storm and your Dark Hole. Right now they're not really all that great, and a lot of the stuff that, has been banned for 5 or more years right now can probably come back with little effect on the format because of how some of the other decks are doing. So, like, people were like, oh my god, Blackluster Soldier came back, the format's broke, and right now that card is absolutely irrelevant in any deck whatsoever right now. And it's like, for someone that's me, that, like, those used to be like the cards in the game, it's really weird, like, just taking out Dark Holes and siding Heavy Storms and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, is this really what the game is coming to, is stuff like that? And that's because, like, they're just being replaced by these, these archetype engines that just, spam out a bunch of stuff. So it's iffy, So I know a lot of people are complaining about Dragon Rulers, and I've seen a lot of people debating about, like, what can be hit with them. So, like, just hit the big dragons, just hit the baby dragons, hit the gold Sarks, hit the super rejuves. And I'm like, there's a lot about that deck that's really good. And, whatever they hit probably will matter. If it was me, I would probably hit the big dragons, because those are, like, those are the problems right there. And even if you put the dragons at 1, you still have the baby dragons to tutor them. Is that really going to affect the deck that much? It might, hurt the deck's consistency a little bit. And the dragons are also used in other decks too. So, like, Mermails use Tidal. Lavels have been using Blaster. I've seen, like, Dragonides and Gustos using the Wind one. Redox, I've seen people trying that in Gadgets, and, like, Machinas, Gem Knights, stuff like that. So, like, I feel that, like, the big dragons are really good cards, and they were announced as the 4 tin reprints for the summer. So that leads me to believe that, they might be hit at 1 on the ban list. What else? People have been bugging a lot about Prophecies too, which Prophecies, like, as much hype and as expensive as they are, and they're a really good deck. Like, I also have the deck myself. I'm missing the Judgments, and and I'm not in a hurry to pick up Judgments, because if that would be, like, the one card in the deck that would be hit, like, put Judgment to 1, and the deck loses a lot of consistency. I mean, like, Judgments and maybe, like, Secrets to 2 or something like that. Just because the entire deck is, like, searching stuff. So, stuff like that. Evil Swarms, I don't think need to be hit outside of maybe putting, like, Afi onto 1. And I also have the Evil Swarm deck I've been, tinkering with. I've been trying to get Cercions, because I only picked up, like, 1 at the sneak, or, like, 1 or 2 at the sneak. I need to get a 3rd. And then, like, the price of that thing jumped from, I was picking them up at, like, $3 or $5 at the sneak, and then they jumped up to, like, 15, 20. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna wait. And then I think I, like, picked up 1 for 10. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. So yeah, I think if they just hit Afi onto 1, and that's really all that needs to be done with that deck. After that, it's kind of whatever. After that point, I think Mermails might get hit in some way, because even if those 3 decks, then Mermails come back to being, the top deck. It's sort of like the slippery slope of Yugioh. If you hit one of the top decks, then people try to go with, like, the next best thing. So, if Dragon Rulers, Prophecy, Evil Swarm, stuff like that get hit, it's just going to go back to Dino Rabbit, Insectors, Wind-Ups, Mermail, sort of like the format that it was before, but the decks aren't quite as consistent, and then, something new is going to come out that's going to trump everything anyway. So, who knows right now. It's relaxing out here, let me tell you. I want to get this video in yesterday, but it was raining all day. So finally out to enjoy a little peace and quiet by myself. I'm trying to think what else we can hit. I have a feeling that Fire Formation Tenki might get hit to one, like 1 or 2, just to give it like the Rhoda treatment, because you know it's actually technically better than Rhoda as you search for your Beast Warrior. There's a lot of good targets, especially like Bear or Constellar Chaos. The Bujin guys are coming out. You know, Force Raider, people using that in Fire Fist and stuff. So I have a feeling that might get put to 1 or 2, but you know that's acceptable, because you know Rhoda's at 1. Konami has a trend to hit consistency over power, so that's why they hit the you know the charge of light brigades, the Luminas, the Hieratic Seals over things like Judgment Dragon, and some of the big boss monsters, stuff like that. They'll hit the Allures over Dark Arm, stuff like that. So that's another card I feel will get hit, definitely. I also have a feeling a lot of stuff is probably due to come back off the ban list too. Like I can see Magician of Faith coming back, because you know people were saying like, oh my god, Tsukiyomi came back, and that card has had 0 impact on the game whatsoever since it came back. It's like, oh, Proxy can run it? Not really. Oh, you can side it against dragons or whatever? Nah, not really. Yeah, so I'm feeling some of the cards like, you know, Magician of Faith can come back. Why is Thousand Eyes Restrictive still banned? I mean, like without Metamorphosis, that card does nothing. And even, you know, Metamorphosis might be a card that can come back to 1, because, you know, what's metamorphosing, you know, a D-Hero Malicious or something into a Ryu Senshi or whatever, or you know, how much worse is that compared to what we have right now? Stuff like that. People are saying, you know, Chaos Emperor can come back, because I'm like, you know, even still, I think that card's too good to come back, and they'll probably have to ban other stuff for that to come back. But, you know, that's another card that, like, oh, it's how much worse is that than, like, a Black Rose or some of the field wipes that we have now that aren't even really being ran right now. So, you know, who knows? I know some cards that are probably like legal right now, probably in the next format or so will be banned, and that's like probably some of your archetype things, because like some Yu-Gi-Oh has something I've noticed before in my formats of playing is Yu-Gi-Oh has shifted from, you know, it's a lot of the generic stuff being hit, and then Konami or Upper Deck, whoever, sort of went away from giving just like generic attribute support as much to giving, you know, like archetype support. But then that gave a huge power to some of these archetypes, so that's why you get your Dragon Rulers, your Prophecies, your Evil Swarm, your Wind-Ups, your Insectors, some of the really like focused decks that, you know, will try to do one thing and they should become engines for everything else. Yeah. So just want to give you guys some thoughts on what I thought of the ban list. So just a quick little thing there, my thoughts on the game right now. Hopefully it might get a little bit better. People have been like saying like, oh, you know, when the format slows down, blah 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 blah, whatever. The format hasn't slowed down in years, guys, and it's not going to get any better. Got some boats out on the water in the back of me. Yeah, so enjoy my video. I'll probably come back with some more. Catch you later, YouTube.